fuels this expedition. We want to see if this is a Cretaceous seamount chain that increases in age from south to north.
Wow, that's a nice cucumber.
It is a nice cucumber.
What about the rocks next to the cucumber?
Yeah.
The cucumber is leading us to victory.
Yeah, they're a little flat. And these ones up here likely attached. That's all right. I'll keep my eyes peeled.
Quick zoom. Oh, I blew it. One watch off, and I am...
You can see the path of where it's
losing it.
Consumed the surface, right? I think that
they
was
leave a little trail, hey?
Yeah. So I told my class I would give them a shout out, but it's always been the wrong time. Like they're always asleep while we're on shift. So I'll give them the spiritual shout out. So my Cal State Long Beach sedimentation and stratigraphy class, you keep up the studying. You want to crush the final. You want to crush it.
Crush it like it's a rock sample.
Exactly. And I know you're doing a fantastic job.
Are you sure you don't want to sing them a song?
No, I'm not gonna I do often sing them songs, but I think this class thinks I didn't sing as much as they did for the last class. So you got to balance. When you're remote, it's easier to sing the songs. 2 chroinoids, yes?
Yeah, at least.
Are they
maybe 3
attached to something?
I can't tell what it is.
A Walteria. Maybe not.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Boy,
okay.
Sarah brought her eagle eyes again on this on this watch. I mean, it's called a watch for a reason. We're all looking, but
The espresso.
there you go. So an interested viewer wants to know when can they see your results of your analyses and the other samples that we've taken on this trip? How can they stay up to date with what we're finding out based on the work we've done here on this expedition?
So it takes some time to get an age back from a rock, and the reason is that you have to prepare the rock in a way that makes it suitable to be analyzed, and we call that preparing a mineral separate. So in order to do that, you need to cut the rock and find the freshest part, then you crush that part up, and then you put it in a sonicator bath and clean it up, and then you put it in a then you sieve it, and then you put it in a magnetic separator, and then you sieve it again, and then you leach it with 3 acids, and then you sieve it again, and then you put it under a binocular microscope, and you hand pick the most pristine minerals that are within your target phase. Then you send it to a nuclear reactor, and you irradiate it, you bombard it with neutrons, then you will wait for it to cool, then you bring it back, and you load up it in a copper sample tray, and then you load that tray into a high volume noble gas mass spectrometer, and you measure it in incremental heating steps. And it releases the gas as it goes, and then ultimately, if everything goes well, you have an age for the rock. And so there are many steps in that process that can get hung up, and so it usually takes about 2 years to get ages. And then we analyze
2 years.
Yes, and then we analyze the data, interpret what it might mean about the geologic history of the region. So if we have multiple ages on these seamounts, we'll look at it in the big picture setting and say, what could that possibly mean? Is this an age progressive chain? And if it is, what plume does it seem most likely to fit with? And then we attempt to get that published in a peer-reviewed journal. And that is a whole other ball of wax.
So in other words, to answer the viewer's question, takes a long time.
Takes a long time.
And one way to stay up to date on what's happening as a result of these missions is at our website, nautiluslive.org. But don't expect those results tomorrow. Those are going to be a while.
Yeah.
Is it 2 years because the isotopes have to break down, or why does it take so long?
Okay.
Well, it just takes so long to prep the sample, and it doesn't take that long to analyze it once you have the mineral separate prepared. It's just that it takes so long to prepare the mineral separate, and then also you get in line for the noble gas mass spec, right? So there's probably a lot of other rocks that are waiting to be measured. And so if you had the entire lab to yourself and as much manpower as you wanted, and you were first in line to the machine, you could probably get it done in 6 months. Look at that. Is that a tiny little star?
It's just a wee one.
It's tiny.
Yeah, it's really small. We can go say hi.
Yeah.
Is the mass spec in your department, or do you have to send them off?
I am partnered with the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, and they have a geochronology lab with a new noble gas mass spectrometer. And so my students will go there to run the measurements.
Okay.
So 5 centimeter star?
Yeah.
Oh,
maybe?
if that,
Super, super adorable.
Looks
like
different
a
than
cookie.
most of the ones
Yeah,
we've
it looks
seen.
like it has like a trim, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It
Frosted.
really looks like a Christmas cookie.
It's
Yeah.
a holiday cookie.
It's a holiday cookie. Little cookie.
So we're looking for a little bit more explanation for a viewer here. We heard you say ages from north to south and age progressive seamount. Is that the same thing, and what does it mean?
So in this context, we are studying, geologic context, we are studying what we refer to as intraplate volcanism. Volcanism that is occurring within the plate, the Pacific plate that is, not at plate boundaries, like in a subduction zone, for instance, like the Cascadia margin, where we have all the...
There's quite a lot going on right here.
yes.
Yeah.
Black corals,
Hold the ship for a second.
Okay.
Poliopogon.
Bridge, Nav.
And
Hold ship, please.
And so when we look at the ages of volcanoes formed by intraplate volcanism, and if they have an age progressive seamount track, meaning they go from younger to older in a certain orientation, we will try to link that back to a hotspot, because the hotspot or the plume remains fixed over geologic time, and the plate moves over that hotspot, leaving a trail of seamounts that are age progressive. And if we take multiple seamount tracks, age progressive seamount tracks, and we use them in a model, we can reconstruct how the plate moved over geologic time, its orientation and its speed. This sponge looks like it has a lot of associates.
Yeah, that
I
seems to
love
be...
that term, associates. That just makes me laugh. It makes me think of a law firm.
Absolutely. Poliopogon and Associates.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah,
Have you
makes
been
sense.
in an auto accident? Call now. So I think the best analogy that you gave during your science talk in the lounge was it's like looking at a beach with footprints of various animals all over it, and not only do you have to figure out which animal made the prints, but in which order they crossed by.
Exactly, and that I think that's Chris Kelly's analogy, so yes, it's a good one.
Tracks in the sand.
Tracks in the sand. So that's why we date them in order to determine which ones came first.
Can
And
we
in
zoom
what
on that
order
little
they're
tiny
in.
thing, bottom right of the big one? Yeah, thank you.
Sorry, say again?
There's, Andrew's going to circle something. See it?
Get a zoom.
Oh, okay, yeah. Let's get a zoom.
The star we saw was a chiraster.
Is this the
Oh,
this
this is
is the
the umbrella.
palm tree.
Umbrella. Yeah.
Umbella, yeah. I love that one. It also looks happy holidays.
Absolutely.
Kind of looks like a snowflake.
Yeah, and there's like snow in the air.
Okay, go on.
This is a
So,
very high density of crinoids, huh?
yeah, and building off Stephen's previous comment, now we can see the laser, so it is less clear here.
Or more, oh, the laser lines?
Yes.
Yeah, they are coming in and out.
Herc is heading 030, so that current direction is from 210.
Yeah, that is a lot of crinoids.
Oh, on the big sponge?
Yeah.
Can
So
we
many
zoom on that,
associates.
So
yellow?
many associates.
We're looking for a zoom on the yellow coral that's to
Roger.
the, yeah.
Sort of center of the frame now?
Yeah.
Okay,
Just a
go
quick
for zoom.
just a quick zoom.
Quick zoom.
Pretty sure that's another black coral.
It's not?
I believe
Oh,
it is. Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, go on. Thank you.
Well, I think I might finally get into the chat here. Man.
Okay, is this a bigger version of the little tiny coral that we zoomed in on just now? Sounded like the name was like an umbrella or something.
Oh, yeah. Yep, it is.
Yeah, the one on the left there?
Right below the lasers right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, what is that called again?
Umbella,
Panthes. No R.
no
Yeah.
R, yeah.
I really wanted to add that R.
Yeah, you got shut down.
There's a bunch of different stuff here.
Yeah, it's getting more productive, I'd say.
Yeah.
Get closer to this knoll.
It's also, there's a little bit more current here. There's more stuff in the water column.
Yeah.
Oh, sea star.
Sea star, bunch of different types of corals.
Paragorgia, Chrysogorgia, black corals.
Where's the Chrysogorgia?
Right to the left, that spiraling one, I believe. To the left of the Paragorgia.
It's not Iridogorgia?
Yeah, that's a
Okay.
type.
Oh, same thing.
That's
Okay.
a type of Chrysogorgia.
It's nice.
Here's another one of those
Kite.
chitons.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
We didn't see those at all on earlier dives, and then seems like they picked up.
Yeah. And it has a trail too. See its trail?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So it is a scrubbing bubble.
It's a scrubbing bubble.
Are there other sorts of things you want to look at here? I was just sort of winging it a little.
Yeah, we can keep moving.
Okay. Kate, we can get the
Move
ship
on.
going again. Yeah.
Bridge, nav. Can we move 50 meters, bearing 135?
It's like a nice Walteria,
Yeah.
about a meter tall. You can see those green dots are 10 centimeters apart. This is a large sponge.
Go for zoom at the base. See what I can do to just float up it a little.
Nice.
Okay, go ahead. It's definitely breezy here. This crinoid is draped, like facing into the current.
Oh, facing into the current?
Yeah.
Oh.
Like it's,
Or is it being blown by the current?
it's yeah, it's facing into the current, and it's like tentacles are streaming back behind it in
Oh,
into
gotcha,
the wake.
gotcha.
Right. So
Okay.
yeah, you are facing into the
I am
current.
facing
Yeah.
into the current, yeah.
It's coming from the southeast.
Go for zoom. Oh, I'm a little stretched out. Not a lot of space to come down though. Okay. What you into on the mesotech there, Dan?
They are the time variable gain was back at 20 and was
Oh, okay. Yeah, 30's better. I like 30.
trying to work out what the difference is. Other than what you obviously see by selecting it, but that's I was thinking about making a custom one for no particular reason. Yeah, I like 30 as well. I'll just leave it there. It's just easier to look at.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's defaulting back or if they are changing it back for some reason.
Oh, it may not be saved in the...
I did save it.
Oh, okay.
I think Rennie kind of fiddles with it.
Yeah, Rennie's a sonar fiddler.
Takes one to know one.
He gave
And
me
it
an
does.
he gives me an update at watch.
Oh, what's the crinoid?
Yeah,
The
it's
stocked
fabulous.
crinoid? Yeah, it's beautiful color. We can go say hi while we're waiting on Argus.
Is this the ruby one?
Yeah.
So keep in mind, turtles, that we're getting lots of questions from viewer land about superlatives for this expedition. So as we go through the watch, if anybody wants to share their most exciting, weirdest, most interesting observations from this expedition, all those folks out in viewer land are interested to know.
Well, I'll say the cutest is definitely the anglerfish.
Chaunacops coloratus.
Adorableissus.
It has been spongilicious at times.
Absolutely.
And but the hemicoralia, those precious corals yesterday, blew me away. The density of them, the size of them. stretched out along that ridge on the southeast side of Tamana Seamount.
Okay, go ahead.
Can we look at the little, the feathered coral right to the left?
Oh, yeah, totally.
Thank you.
That's a cool one.
Yeah, that last night's watch was definitely the highlight of the expedition for me.
Yeah.
It's one of the funner joyrides I've had in a while.
I really think, well, the prettiest, I think, is the Victor Gorgia.
Oh, the purple one?
Yeah, that lavender coral, I thought was just so pretty. So, yeah, the prettiest.
You can go full zoom.
Full zoom.
Awesome. Okay, is this what you wanted, Sarah?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
I'm most intrigued by the extremely polished, glassy bits of rocks that we've been seeing.
Yeah.
And then we brought one up last night in the lab, and it has like grooves in it, like almost like tool marks.
Like scours.
Yes, and I'm completely perplexed. It's very interesting.
I threw out my theory about the mass spawning event
Oh, yeah?
to
What
Steve.
changed your mind?
I threw it out to Steve. No, I mean, I
Oh, you didn't.
Oh, you
expressed my
didn't
theory.
dump it.
Uh-huh.
no,
Okay.
I'm still holding tightly onto it.
Oh, good, good.
Yeah.
So what did Steve have to say?
Steve said, I'm glad you mentioned that, because I'm glad you said that, because I thought I was the only one that noticed that.
Oh, cool.
Oh, no, our watch had a good 30-minute conversation about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, he recommended a Niskin if we see something like that again.
See that, Stephen? You were on to something.
Yeah.
He said something. We did take Niskins yesterday, right?
Yeah, but
not on our watch, but
we didn't take one in the swarm.
But yeah, we did yesterday.
But I wonder if we could.
But
He said if there were whole polyps in there, then you'd get a much bigger hit on the eDNA than if you just had a piece of a
Oh, this is giving me the
Okay.
creepy crawlies. What
coral
is this guy?
in the water column.
Ooh,
Crab?
yeah.
Squat
Oh,
lobster
yeah,
Squat
little
lobster.
squat
on
lobster.
the move though.
Yeah, totally. Usually they're just chilling.
But didn't the other watch get taken Niskin in the
Can you give me a
in
zoom?
the swarm there?
I'm not sure if they intentionally did it in the swarm. Was that the
Snap.
one after us? I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't think they got the, like, in the
Can
little
we
cloud
move
of...
40 meters.
His arms aren't that
135.
long. He's a
don't-
different type of squat lobster.
I don't recall seeing a white one.
Uh-huh.
We've seen some white ones, but
They were the long-armed, I think, white ones.
yeah.
Yeah.
Want to
Can
try
you-
more?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, he's got shorter claws.
The one they were interested in has a large spike on the
Okay.
top.
I see a large spike.
I
Yeah.
see a
Could,
large
if
spike.
you stuck him in bubble and
Okay, I can do that.
tilt it down, you'd get a
A really solid one, hey?
predator zoom. They call it.
Is that a
You can see
Pokemon
his
we
little
want?
mandibles going. It's really gross.
But so cool.
I can tilt for you if you want.
Let's get in there real
Bridge
quick.
snap.
Yeah, keep going, keep going. I don't see it in bubble yet.
Can you change that move to be 2
Put it
5
here.
meters, not 3? Yeah,
Get
2
him
5
in
meters.
there somewhere between the bumper and the
Thank you.
lasers.
Okay.
Go forward a little bit more.
Yeah.
See, I wonder if
Okay.
that's his
that to
bioturbation
work.
all around there. You see it?
Yeah, on
Go
that
for a
rock.
zoom there, Steve.
Uh-huh.
Let's see his little mandibles.
So not one spike, but spiky.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he has
It's
multiple
got something
spikes.
interesting over his head though.
Can't quite see.
Yeah.
Oh, now you can see him
Yeah, he's moving
munching
a lot.
on something.
Filtering.
It's pretty weird.
Yep.
He's done a lot of work there if you see it behind him.
What
Done a lot of excavation.
was the term you used
Okay,
for
let's
when,
go wide.
What is, Stephen?
What was the term you used for when they clean in the
Bi-
rock and
Oh, it's bioturbation, meaning they're mixing up the sediment and they're...
Oh,
The stalked crinoid closed up on us.
Yeah.
I was like, get out
Oh.
of here.
It's like too close, too close.
Yeah.
but that's not referring to where the rock is cleaned? Or is
Yeah,
it,
where
it
it's
is?
cleaned or,
Okay.
yeah,
Thanks, Dan.
basically it's saying a disturbance in the sediment
Oh.
associated with organic behavior.
Do you think that's from it trying to feed off the rock or just crawling around it?
It looks like it was eating it. I think
Yeah.
it was eating it, yeah.
Boy, that's a hard life.
Oh, yeah.
Eating
Bottom.
rock at 1,800
Yeah,
meters.
bottom of the ocean,
Yeah.
2 degrees C. Scraping off a rock and eating it.
Bioturbation is kind of like the subsea term for anthill.
Oh, interesting. I like that.
You know, or like when you see in the forest where deer lay down and sleep, it's all the leaves are crushed down. It's kind of like
Yeah.
that, huh?
But it's usually associated with a critter in the sediment. Something
Oh, okay.
happening
More.
in the sediment. Yeah.
Yeah. Because basically the critter
What is the ship doing?
moves around the
Oh, yeah.
sediment,
Interesting.
so it's not telling you what it would usually say had the critter not been there. Whatever type of organism it is. Could be a worm, could be a crab, could be a mollusk, could be...
It's a big sponge. The Argus view, a couple of big sponges.
Yeah, I
Just
see him.
sending-
He's
Bridge,
getting it
Nav.
back together.
Kind of. Can we move 10 meters bearing 135?
Can you ask him if he's having trouble holding position, or
Yeah.
do you think that was a, yeah.
No, that
It
was...
would be nice to know
Yeah.
if that was like weather or
It looks like it could be
DP
currents.
error or something.
It ain't weather.
Bridge, Nav.
No.
Is that a
Are you
cucumber?
having trouble
It's like
making these
15.
bearings?
15 knots out there.
Can you say that again?
That's kind of how we roll.
I love how these crinoids have all sort of sorted out where the best real estate is.
Oh, yeah, they're definitely onto
Are there
it.
corals on top of that sponge? Can you go for zoom?
Are they hydrozoan?
Oh,
Yeah, I think they're
that must
hydra.
be.
Definitely an indicator of how important these large sponges and corals can be to this ecosystem. So many other creatures
go
are
on.
using them, not for food necessarily, but for architecture, to get higher up in the water column, to have better access to food.
What do we think those thin threads on the top of the sponge were?
I don't know what those are.
It kind of looks like it's headed towards being a dead sponge.
Yeah,
It might
I
be
wonder that
spicules,
too.
yeah, it might be sponge spicules.
Oh yeah, he's sort of going back and forth there, hey?
Yeah.
Zigzag steps.
Yeah, we're moving 270-ish.
It's a nice Iridogorgia.
Back row, I have a question for you guys.
Sure.
We have reached this knoll, and I believe the idea was to continue
Yeah,
southeast-ish. I can zoom out on the high pack.
that'll help.
Keep in mind that we're going to have patience with the bridge making moves.
What was the issue with the moves?
He's figuring it out, but he's having positions, or he's definitely having trouble making the 135.
And then the starting and stopping is maybe.
Can you zoom out a little bit further?
Yeah, oh yeah, so if you can see, we've been making 135 moves continuously, and he's suddenly kind of having trouble making those.
Right.
That's what I'm referring to.
Yep. Well, let's try to stay on this heading.
Copy.
Looks good.
I mean, even so, we finished just been a second ago. Like, we've been stopping and holding position fine.
Oh, there's a little
maybe longer
Bridge
steps
nav.
might help.
Yeah, longer steps will help.
Can we move 100 meters, bearing 135?
They're just so adorable.
Can we get lasers off? Once we get a still.
So this is the type of anglerfish we've been seeing on quite a few of our dives.
But the thing is,
it is nice.
laser zoom is always different depending on how far away. Yeah, but yeah.
Oh no, we
He's got some
disturbed
blue
him.
in him.
Oh. Yeah, he does seem to be more mottled.
He's adorable.
Yeah,
The way
I
they
see what you're saying.
swim is too much for me. It's just too much.
I think he's got his little feet out for a landing.
Oh.
I want to see his jets go.
His exhaust, yeah.
Oh, he found a good spot.
All right.
Oh, you're good.
Trying to
You're
land
good,
on that
buddy.
coral there.
Yay.
I wonder if that is
Boom.
just him, like, one respiration when those open in the back.
Oh, he's adorable.
Those must be the gills, right? 'Cause
Yeah, so that's just him taking a breath every 2 days.
Most things move pretty slow here in the deep.
We've done some counting of fish respirations in some of our West Coast adventures. The biologists, fish people as we call them. Yeah, they have like Steve's level of, of fish. Like Steve is with corals, they are with fish. They've got all the names and I never knew there was so many different kinds of rockfish, for example. It's just a blurry, dizzying. Yeah, so they were looking at the different oxygen levels at different depths and environments, and they would, we would sit there and watch them, and they would time how many times their gills moved in a minute. And they were collecting all that, putting in their database. So not really easy to sneak up on a fish and sit there and watch them respirate for a minute. Yeah. It's surprisingly challenging.
Just take some deep breaths. It'll be all right. So there is no light at these depths. The only light is either the light that we bring with us, or if there are bioluminescent creatures down here. In the past, there have been some work with Argus and Herc with turning off the lights and looking for that. We're not doing that on this expedition, but we're getting a question about what's it like to live in an environment with no light.
Yeah, you'd have to reboot.
A viewer is wondering, how do these organisms know when it's daytime or nighttime? When do they know that it's time to go to sleep? And what do you think, Emil?
I think they know when it's strong current and weak current. I couldn't tell you about sleep. I think when you're tired, you take a nap.
Sort of like on the boat here, when the giant whiteboard tells you that you're not on watch, then you know it's time to sleep. Day and night is irrelevant.
Are you referring to the Board of Lies?
But we know from an interaction yesterday that there is no recess in the deep sea.
There's no recess in the deep sea.
Not at these temperatures.
Gets below 37 degrees.
No recess.
No recess. So when you say they know when there's strong currents and weak currents, could that be, is that related to like the moon?
If the tides are the, the dominant factor here, yes.
So they might not know what day it is, but they might know
what moon it is.
What moon it is.
Yeah, so your internal tides driven by the surface tides will be stronger when you've got a full moon or new moon.
I love how fast we get back readings on the Argus bender, or whatever we're using for ground fault monitoring over there. Instead of like once every... Oh, gone.
So if you are able to access our website, nautiluslive.org, we've started to post some expedition highlights and other information that we've gathered here on this expedition. The expedition name is Lu'u'aea Ahiki'i Kapapaku. That has been given to us by the Cultural Working Group. And you can see some of those highlights. We'll get those highlights coming out to you as they are processed by our onshore team. Keep an eye on the website, and there'll be new ones coming as we can get them out there to you.
Ship move looks good.
Oh, I'm seeing another one of those splotches on the rock that could be the base of something at some point.
The white
yeah,
thing?
that like yellowy white.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what it looks like. It looks like a base of a coral or something.
I'm going to cycle off the Argus HD camera for a minute.
That's fine.
Copy that, Steve.
Copy that.
I see a few more of your cameras go offline here for a minute.
Roger.
Copy.
Yeah, it's almost instant. I didn't notice it has an age thing. You don't have to go to the alarm page.
Yeah.
I always find new stuff on this.
Yeah, that
very busy graphical user interface.
Yeah. But the Argus one updates so fast since you guys did the rebuild. It's awesome. Jeez, what's left?
Can't find it.
So, Emil, the internal tides that we've been learning about from you for this expedition, are they stronger further from the equator as the surface tides are, generally much larger the further you get? Or does it not really correlate at all with the height of the surface tides?
The height of the surface tide is important, but there's no relation to the equator there. So you've got these semidiurnal tides circling around in the Pacific and the Atlantic, and generally stronger along the coasts, but yeah, the higher
Yes,
the
sorry, I'm
surface
up
tide, the
27.
stronger the forcing will be. So we don't have very high tides around Hawaii, but it's enough that the bathymetric change from the deep basin to the Hawaiian Ridge is big enough so that even that relatively weak current is enough to generate strong internal tides.
Turned off the
but
auto
yeah,
heading for a minute.
If there were higher tides around Hawaii, the internal tides would be stronger.
I can't find it.
So Chris took our idea and to a next level. You know, he started to consider, all right, well, if these are very steep slopes and you would have this supercritical reflection which would send the energy to the seafloor, and if you have stronger currents along the bottom when it's critical, well, then we're in it not parallel to the ridge but slightly off, then you're creating more opportunities for that critical reflection. And so that was his working hypothesis on why that Tamana Seamount Ridge was so productive.
Try those.
And that drove his selection of this ridge on this seamount. Not quite parallel to the Hawaiian Ridge. So like if you get a glancing blow, it could be stronger than a direct blow. Ooh, that's a nice one.
That's a pretty red.
Brittle star making a leap.
That was quite a tumble.
The cathexts are AC anyways, so I do it.
Are we looking at these rocks with any sort of interest?
They look a little thin. Looking for more of an angularly rubble flow.
I don't think so. I don't know if they're just trying it.
Like some big sponges in the Argus view. I think that's what I'm seeing.
I just cycled the bender. I'm going to try the camera again. It's the last thing we messed with.
So it's pretty hard for me to apply a superlative to this expedition because everything is new and exciting to me, but for some reason seeing those columnar basalts, it was amazing and surprisingly emotional. Like, who knew that fractured rocks could be so moving? But that was a really great find that I enjoyed seeing, and I'm looking forward to the highlight reel on that one.
Yeah, rocks are pretty.
It's a nice glimpse back to the formation of the seamount. Yep. Looking back in time, 80 million years.
Yeah.
Well, and I think because we have such well-known examples of those columnar basalts on land that I've seen, that seeing it at the bottom of the ocean allowed me to make that connection. So I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, the anglerfish is also quite moving, but maybe in a little different way.
Yeah. Notice we're not seeing that many ripple marks here either, so I don't know if the current is energetic enough. Again, usually when we see ripple marks, it's associated with higher levels of diversity or more abundant organisms.
Are these nodules that we're seeing down there?
Yeah, those are nodules.
there might be some ripples on the edges.
Yeah.
What do you want me to look at here, Andrea? What's striking you?
We're just still trying to mosey, I think, and whenever you get the chance, and seeing if we can find a field of angular rocks, but I know that
Oh yeah,
this is doesn't look like the place.
This
so.
is not so angular. Oh look, here's a Dan-sized rock right here.
It's looking, I'm starting to see more of those little swimming
right?
creatures again in the water column.
Okay.
If my eyes aren't playing tricks on me. I wonder if that means we're going to see more, well, I'd be curious to see if we see more corals coming up.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
There's a jelly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, little one.
Hello there.
Nice.
It's hard to follow him when I impact his his movement with the thrusters.
Bridge, nav.
Okay.
Dan's not the only one going for a joyride.
Can we
Nelly
move
was
100 meters, bearing 135?
I can't do the math in my head. I'm having a blank. What's the current at 24 volts if you have a 20K resistance? Yeah. Can't remember the formula. I don't have my pie chart.
Now we're starting to get into some broken up rocks.
What's that?
Yeah, these ones are thin again. That's the issue. So these thin sheet flows are usually the ones that are altered all the way through.
Yeah, you want to get back up into the pillowy stuff.
Yeah, into the thicker stuff.
I think we might. We're getting close to a steep area.
So thanks for sending in your questions, viewers. We are having a bit of a delay between you posting them and us seeing them here. We're not quite sure what's going on technically, but keep those questions coming in and we'll get to them as we can. We're getting some viewer questions about watching the whole dives at a later date. And are we going to post the entire dives?
They normally do show up
At
on
20K,
YouTube.
it's a milliamp. No. It's like noise. What's a milliamp between friends? It's a total microbeat.
So you should be able to look for those full dive files on our website,
10K.
or on our YouTube channel rather. And those will be coming in
24 divided by 10,000, right?
in the next few days.
Should be able to do that one in my head. I can't even do it with a calculator. Yeah, 2 millibeans. I would, enough to run a LED maybe? I don't know. 30 milliamps maybe? What's that gonna do to a pin? Like I could arc an LED on. It's a stupid connector on there anyways. It needs to be a same one as the Zeus. I do. What guts me is I did that connector myself.
Get ready to tell somebody to stuff their sorries in a sack there, Kate.
I've been doing connectors for a while too, so I'll bet you we could run them lights all night and there wouldn't be a
I feel like SPL is missing out Gabby's half of this conversation.
Yeah, I think you're talking to yourself again there, Dan.
Let's turn. What's that?
We're getting only your half of this conversation.
Oh,
SPL.
sorry, I'm on
It's okay.
SPL.
Yep.
No, we
Sorry.
want both halves of the conversation, not zero halves.
We have some ROV drama up here.
Well, our listening public wants to know. They're sending in calculations for you on the chat, trying to help you out, but
For me, it's like both on or both off.
Here's
yeah, pick one.
Okay,
Pick one.
I've composed myself. I can contribute now.
Okay, welcome.
Here's our drama. Here's our drama in a nutshell. We have this thing on ROVs. We monitor ground faults. So similar to electrical outlet in your bathroom or in your kitchen next to your sink, there's a ground fault monitoring system. So different from the one in your kitchen or bathroom, it doesn't turn itself automatically. Doesn't turn itself off automatically. We have to make a judgment call. So most of the devices on the vehicle are running at 24 volts DC. And in my little reptile brain, a ground fault for 24, anything DC and 24 volts is like, you know, it's a ghost. It's, but my personal opinion there is not shared by the majority of the ROV community. So, like, fair enough, if you have a ground fault on your 3,000 volt motor, that might be something to worry about, but a 24 volt ground fault, come on. And then the other thing we monitor is we monitor the ground fault between 0 volts and chassis. So we also monitor what? Oh yeah, I'm failing in my job. I'm a horrible Argus pilot, by the way.
He's a truly outstanding Herc pilot, though.
Anyways, the new camera that we put on Argus, so we have this whole mantra when we do a connector, any of the subsea connectors on the vehicle, they have to obviously keep the water out. So basically we put silicone grease on them. And they have to be super clean. If there's any dirt or junk in there, the connectors basically seal. They're rubber molded connectors, and they're sealed with the pressure of the seawater makes them seal better because it pushes the rubber closed. So there's a kind of an art form, or there's a mantra of doing how you do the connectors. We use silicone grease or silicone spray. We clean them first with alcohol or contact cleaner.
Andrea, are you seeing this field of
Yeah, they're
rocks?
still kind of thin. You see where you see this sheet flows?
Yeah.
Those are the guys that are usually altered. So we're looking like the
we're pushing on.
Yeah, the chunky monkeys are the ones we want.
Okay, Dan, continue with your epic saga.
Sorry, it's
Sorry
an epic
about
saga.
that. It's gonna keep going.
It is an epic saga.
There's a lot of emotion in this. There was a lot of emotion in today.
It's an ongoing conversation of how to plug something in, basically.
Yes.
Like, you know, if someone told you, hey, you're not plugging that extension cord in correctly. You need to plug it in like
and
this.
And if every single time you worked with a new person, somebody told you you didn't plug your extension cord in right, like there would be some emotion involved.
So how many ROV pilots does it take to screw in a light bulb?
There you go.
Pretty much.
All of them.
So over the years, most ROV people have developed their own technique based on experience, most of that bad. How to make a connector secure for sea, as we call it, and without resulting in a ground fault 2,000 meters down.
It's all magical thinking, by the way.
Which brings us to present day, and you got something going on down there with a ground fault?
So at present day, the connector that I personally did yesterday on the mini Zeus camera that's currently providing the image for Argus is ground faulting.
Oh.
And the 6 connectors that I did on the porch light are all ground faulting too. And I prayed to all of my connector ground fault gods, and none of them obliged me with, or any of us really, with anything even approaching successful connector doing up. So hence the drama.
So does that mean we don't have a porch light, or?
Well, there's a bit more to that story as well.
I was actually wondering about
Can you go
that.
for Zoom?
So the difference with the porch lights, all the LED lights on Hercules
it's sponge spicules.
are 110 volts.
Thank you.
So a ground fault can be a little more significant than a ground fault, a DC ground fault, because it's alternating current. So either one of the connectors can, either one of the pins on the connector can be ground faulting, and the higher voltage is more likely to cause some carnage with the connector.
So neither one of you plugged your extension cords in, right?
Apparently not.
Exactly. So the fact that like it's not just opinion that drives the fact that like everybody's, you know, just wants to have an opinion about how to plug your extension cords in. It's the fact that like they're very temperamental.
Yes, they
like
are.
It's not just ROV pilots that are temperamental, it's also the equipment.
So you can, Gabby and I we've done a few connectors in our careers, and we're relatively, sometimes we get a little lackadaisical and go through the whole, connector cleaning, get out the gloves and put the white doctor coat on. It's not exactly a laboratory environment on the back deck. So
we're both coming back on our shields this time.
But so now it comes down to the judgment call, right? So for example, we have the mini Zeus camera on, and I'm sitting here watching the number, which is displayed loudly in red. Just to add injury. It's varying between 2 kilo ohms and 20 kilo ohms. So,
but does it even have the ability to resolve less than a kilo ohm? Like, once you're at 1, isn't that 0?
Yeah, I don't know. So then you add into that potion the whole magic of how do you detect a ground fault. So there's a different technique for doing that on AC versus DC. And
Let me just break in here, Dan.
Sorry.
Can we move in a bit, move on a bit through here? This looks pretty sheet rocky and sheet flow and not very.
Absolutely. Yeah, we can pick up the pace. Why don't we go 0.5?
Yeah.
You guys okay with that?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, just get through this.
Pretty flat too.
Yeah, I kept hoping against hope that we'd see some really nice rocks, but the rocks have been subpar.
No, too flat, probably altered.
Can we increase the speed to 0.5 knots?
As long as it doesn't get too steep here. The contours are going to get closer together here.
Yeah, we'll start moving up.
We can slow down when we get through it. Yeah.
So the short answer to your question was
that ship has sailed.
I think that was Emil's way of saying, I'm sure this story has an ending. Please find it.
we have a 10K ground fault on the minis. Should we turn it off or should we run it?
And Dan is the boss, and he says run it, so we're running it.
I'm
Here
not
we go.
the boss. But it's supposed to be a democracy, I guess.
No.
And Emil, do you think it's a democracy?
Not in a control van.
We need to give Dan a rock to pick up.
Yeah.
One of my old bosses was fond of saying it's not a democracy.
Can you come down a bit too?
I just came up.
Oh my God.
What was with this bathymetry? Oh. We go up, we go down, we go up, we go down.
Can you zoom out a bit, Kate?
On the high pack?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm not going to ask you to do any video stuff. Okay, yeah, this